So, the all-electric Renault 5 wasn't just a success, it was a full-blown renaissance. Winning awards across the industry while also winning over the general public. The Renault 5 was truly a car you would buy with your head and your heart. Frankly, I loved it.
And that is why I'm so excited to be here today with the brand new Renault 4. Now, if the R5 was the retro-inspired fun city car, well, this is pitched as its much more practical all-rounder sibling. And it's a formula that's worked before, because in its original makeup, this car sold over 8 million units, and it changed the way a generation moved around. So does this new one do justice to that legacy? And can it live up to the brilliance of the 5? Let's find out.
The original Renault 4 earned the nickname Blue Jeans back in the 60s and 70s because it was designed to be an affordable, versatile and practical vehicle for everyone. Just like the denim that became a wardrobe staple for all. So, are they trying to keep the same ethos today?
I think they are actually. Although the front of it is less aggressive than the R5, it still has a kind of sporty feel to it. And Renault have also littered the car with these utilitarian plastics, which I really like, and that's handy because you'll find them throughout the whole car. There's lots of straight lines and vertical edges on this, and that's a direct throwback to the original Renault 4 design that we saw before. And what do you think of that bar? Well, if you can call it a bar. Renault claim it's the first one-piece illuminated grille, and when you look at the detail inside that, it shows that they haven't missed a trick. When it comes to designing lights, Renault are definitely one of the class leaders, and that comes on the 2 top trim levels only. Down the bottom, we've got some active cooling. We've got the fake air vents on the top like the Renault 5, but on the 4, they're a little bit less cute. And you know what? Funny, if I stand back from it and look at it, maybe with yellow paint, is it the actual Jeep Avenger?
The backside is equally impressive. These backlights are incredibly cool, as well as another clever nod back to its ancestor, and the back end keeps the utilitarian effect that is at the centre of Renault's design.
But here is the star of the show, and for once it's not the actual size of the boot that impresses me, even though you get 420 litres in here, which is 100 litres more than you get with the R5. No, it's how low it is to the ground. Now, if like me you're a pet owner, or maybe you like to go hiking, you need to come back and change your boots, or you just want to sit at the side of the road and have a nice roadside picnic, that is a key feature. There's also good extra storage underneath here, which can be easily removed for cleaning purposes. Really, the whole back end showcases just how practical the Renault 4 is. So one thing that's always been a bone of contention with a car of this size is how much room you get in the back. So what we've done is we've adjusted the driver's seat to my preferred position and we've put me in the back seat. And as you can see, my knees are against that driver's seat. It's not going to be an issue for the kids, they would be fine, but for a long trip for me, not ideal. Having said that, look at the headroom. Huge headroom here. My head's definitely not crushed against that roof, but unfortunately, for a long journey, the knees are going to be in the back of that seat. And while we're back here, what do you think of the interior? Look at that, denim, who'd have thought? But remember, this is the Blue Jeans car. You have got USB-Cs there, you've got traditional ISO fixes, and it's all nice and comfy. It's actually a little bit of fun back here as well. Does it look familiar? Well, it should, because it's a carbon copy of the Renault 5, minus a few of the finer details. But I think the basic rule of thumb is, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I love the denim on the dashboard. I love how we have got the gold accents around the air vents. But we've got this thing here to cover the drinks holders. It's about as bizarre as the baguette holder in the R5. The steering wheel looks a little bit like a traffic jam. It's busy, but that's because it's new to me. There's a stop for this, there's a paddle for that, and there's a knob on there as well. But it's fine. Renault can have their busy cockpit as long as they keep up with their retro innovation.
As I said earlier, 8 million of the original R4s were made across the world for a driving population who couldn't get enough of the wee four-pot wonder.
So the big question is, does this live up to the hype of the OG? Well, if you ask the car reviewing community, the answer is 100%. But I can't say that the driving experience will be remotely close. For example, the original version had 30 horsepower and would do 0 to 62 in 34 seconds. Some people are still trying to get there with that. This version has a modest 150 horsepower and will do 0 to 62 in 8.2 seconds. And it has been 50 years. It can't compete physically, but what it does do, and what makes it a true successor to the Renault 4, is how it makes you feel on the inside when you're actually driving the car. Now 50 years is a long time. It's a different engine, it's a different fuel. Hell, it's a different century, but it gives you that same sense as being the OG. You drive this car and it just lets you know that it's ready for anything. Drive past somebody that knows what the Renault 4 is all about, and you'll see just a little smile appearing on their face. So, I have some pretty challenging road conditions to drive in today. Ideal for doing a road test and let you know what the car handles like. Nice tight corner, perfect timing. So we turn in, well, you know what, it could be the 5 I'm in there. It turns the same way through the corner. The 4 suspension feels just as tight, just as taut. And visually when you're inside the car, straight away it feels like the 5, but you're in the 4. So it's playing a bit of a mind game with me here. The steering wheel, nice. Little movements has a big effect on where the car wants to go. I get a direct feel from the tarmac straight back up into my hands, and I can also feel it through my bum. It's good, it's good. Safety features, it has aplenty, and typically Renault are at the frontier of these innovations. They like to try and keep you safe, which is all fine and well, but I do like to try and make my own, configure. Into perso, lets you put some noises on, some noises off. I don't like to constantly be reminded when I'm maybe just edging out towards a white line and it tries to pull me back. Like today, I'm probably missing a puddle on the inside, but they're keeping you safe and they're there for you. So make sure you use them in the correct way. We've got 4 modes. We've got Sport, Personal, Eco and Comforts, and they all give you a different feel on throttle response. Typically, I do like to drive about in Eco because I want to extend that range, but there's a time and a place for Sport mode, and that time is now. You do notice a little bit of urgency when you put the foot down, that it wants to drive you through the corners and up the straight, which is nice. It peters off pretty quickly towards the end of that, but it's nice to know that each of these modes gives you a different feel when you're driving. And remember, Perso, that's one that you want to configure your own mode. You can change things so it suits how you want to build your Renault 4 experience. Now, I've driven a lot of EVs from Renault. The Austral, all the way at the top, the big Austral, down towards the Renault 5, and now I'm in the 4. And the big question is, what does come next? Do we get an Alpine variant of the Renault 4? Something that little bit sporty? Personally myself, I'd love to see a bit of a hooligan. I'd love to see a take on Renault modernising the V6 Renault Clio. Give me a Renault Clio with 4 electric motors in it. Let's see if we can hold on to that on the road. But that's me. What would you guys like to see? Another nostalgic flashback from Renault? One thing that Renault are championing is lighter EVs, and we all know that they can be seriously heavy. This one comes in at just under 1,500 kilos, and that's seriously respectable. And what's powering it? Well, you've got a 52 kilowatt hour battery, and you've got a quoted range of 245 miles, which is pretty impressive. If you want to charge it, you can get that from 15 to 80% in round about half an hour, or alternatively, stick it on your wall box and charge it overnight. My visibility on these country roads when I'm driving is pretty good. It's kind of compromised a little bit when I look out the back just because of the headrest and the size of the rear window. But then out the front, even though it's a narrow aperture that Renault give you for their styling these days, it doesn't compromise you at all. You still get perfect visibility through all these country roads with the tight and twisty corners. The mirrors on the side are good, giving you a nice bit of visibility all round in this car. But don't just take my word for it. Go and get yourself to a local Arnold Clark and get behind the wheel of the Renault 4 and see why it is a genuinely brilliant blueprint for an everyday electric future. Go and give it a test drive and let me know some comments in the box. I'm Duncan Vincent and this is the Arnold Clark YouTube channel. Make sure you like and subscribe and hit that bell icon so you never miss an upload from us. And until next time, safe driving.